club or whatever you want to call it that we were in. All right, just taking a look through here. Mike Lenhart saying massages are allowed at this table. They are, and you can come on down to TCH North Austin or any of the TCH locations and get yourself a massage here. In Austin, we've got the fantastic licensed massage therapist from Texas Royal Touch who will give you a nice tune-up, make sure that your back and neck and everything is in fine working order for moving those chips around the table. And let's take a look back at this hand because George has found himself the pair of nines this time around. And facing a raise to 50 from Darrell with king-queen suited out of the hijack and a flat call from Max sitting on clubs of his own. There in the cutoff. Yeah, George is just going to call.
That's a pretty interesting spot for George, especially middling pair like nines out of position and a caller in between with an open from mid to late position from Darrell. It's a tricky spot. It's a 3-bet or call kind of spot. It's weird trying to set mine because most of the time there's going to be overs. And we got Sergio just flopping the goods, though. with Darrell and Max both having the flush draw. This is money's going to get in there quick.
Yeah, I suspect that's true. Although Sergio can safely just sit there and wait for everybody else to pile it in because he's just got the goods. And, yeah, you're right. I think you're spot on there. 3-bet or call. And it can be weird. I found myself in this position at the final table of the Sunday tournament a couple weeks back where I had nines in the small blind, and it was just a bunch of limps, but we were really short stacked. So, yeah, it was one of those weird spots where it's like, you know, sometimes you just raise and someone was like, oh, well, I'd limped ace king because I had 15 bigs, and now I'm just going to go all in, right? And you're like, oh, God. In any case, the nines do get out of the way after this bet and raise, and now Sergio just puts in the smooth call.
Yeah, Sergio is going to have a tough time here, disguising the strength of his hand with a bet and a raise in front of him and him just being in the middle, cold calling. This might let Darrell and Max off the hook with this early raise.
Ooh.
Oh.
I think that any chances of that have perhaps gone out the window. However, Sergio looks to be going all in now. This is sort of bizarre.
The dumb jam.
Yeah, because if you put your opponent on the flush draw, then you don't need to bet, right? They're going to bet for you.
Right.
So when you jam out, then someone who had like ace 10 or king 10 or something like that could actually reasonably find a fold, and they may not have done that otherwise. So this is sort of interesting, and sure enough, he rips it in. Darrell pretty much snap calls. I think he put it in there about as quickly as he could, and Max is able to find the fold button. And imagine if that goes check and a bet from Darrell.
Jack of clubs one time.
Oh, not to be. It is going to be a board pairing 9 on the end. That gives Sergio 10s full of 9s. Come in and play all of our weekend tournaments, both Saturday and Sunday here at TCH Austin, and work your way from step 1 up to step 2. That's going to be our monthly step 2 tournament. The winners of those monthly tournaments will make it to step 3. The 6 finalists making it to a 6-handed, basically sit-and-go type format, where the winner of that tournament will advance on to a Tier 4, Step 4 tournament that will be held on a cruise. Pretty cool stuff. So I'll get back into the details on that because we have one hell of a hand developing here. Sergio with the 2 red aces and Max 3-betting with the 2 black Judys. Looks like we're going to 4-bet town.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, both of these players pretty deep, and Max has shown a tendency to be a little bit active, so definitely like the 4-bet here. Sergio out of position makes this 335. Is that 335?
360.
360. Okay, missing another black chip in there, or green chip. So, all right, up to 360 now with the jacks. In position here, stack to pot ratio going to go up to a little under 2. He will make the flat call here. So, yeah, stack to pot ratio just about 2. In position with the jacks, and look at that. Flops second set, and Sergio not liking that flop, I'm sure. I mean, you just hate to see that much Broadway like connectivity when you have aces. You're like,
that's Max's range, especially when you hold 2 red aces.
Yep. Yep. So Sergio, though, he is going to go ahead and continue out here. Bets 210 into 7 and a little over 700. So it does go for the under 1/3 pot size bet. I don't mind that at all. I think if you are going to continue on this board, it's going to need to be for a small sizing. Max here in position. There is some connectivity there, but how often does your opponent have a 10? Pretty infrequently. He is just going to blast it in and now puts the pressure back on Sergio.
What do you think about this jam, Aaron?
I mean, so I think when you have a hand as strong as Max does, there's no reason to play it fast, right? Like if your opponent has aces, kings, like they're not gonna they're not gonna slow down or just like stop putting chips in the middle, right? And what are the scare cards? I guess an ace, a king, a 10 on the river, or sorry, on the turn. You don't really want to see. There's just not too many of those, so I don't know. I would have probably just played that as a call. As it stands, he does rip it in. Sergio calls, so maybe Max knows. Oh, and we're going to go ahead and run it twice. Brick City Knights on the first run out, and another brick run out on the second one. So Sergio. Ethan here says Bomber has foggy windows. Yes, he is known to get his glasses nice and fogged up from time to time. And it is kind of funny. He'll get them all fogged up in the middle of a hand, and he'll have to take them off and kind of stand up, look around. Just quite the character. All right, race to 30 from Anderson, and now Bryson over here. Going to go ahead and put in the 3-bet up to 105. This is 3.5x 3-bet from the hijack over a pretty early position raise here. Anderson going to eye up Bryson's stack, get an idea that he's sitting just about 1K.
Yeah, I think I do like this 3-bet from Bryson, especially with a hand like king, queen offsuit facing an early position open. You're not really feeling great flatting and then have someone 3-bet behind you, especially if you've got aggressive players behind you. You either isolate and find out, and he gets a pretty favorable flop, both flopping top pair with queens, and he's just going to check it back. I feel like that's a pretty good board to c-bet that draw heavy.
Yeah, I think you can very safely protect your check back range with Queen 10 if you're ever putting that into your 3-bet range, and perhaps a Queen Jack. So Bryson getting maybe a little bit tricky here. Does check that back. 9 pairs on the turn. Anderson goes ahead and fires out a probe on the turn for 110, and Bryson going to put in a raise now. And honestly, given the fact that Bryson checked back the turn, he actually has more 9s in his hand than Anderson would generally be the case. Well, no, I guess that's not exactly true. So both players fairly uncapped. It is a rip all in from Anderson and Bryson calling off. So this went a little bit crazy.
Oh, good thing they're running it twice.
Yeah, my goodness. Okay, Bryson bailed out on the second river as he did get coolered on that first one to 10 peeling off. Anderson was way behind. Needed to hit a 10 or an ace to find his way some portion of the pot back. He hits the 10 on the first run out, and those players are going to chop up the 17 bucks in the middle. Yeah, pretty fortunate there for Anderson, I guess. When you yeah, Mike, we got we only have Steam Dola, who has actually experienced the broth bomb, but from the look on his face and the reaction afterwards, he also gave it a 1.8 out of 10. So there's all the information you need right there from him, at least. I am not quite sure that I'm interested in giving it my own evaluation. I think I might just stay in the dark on this one.
Yeah, but, I might listen to other people's reviews on the old broth bomb.
But I do think it's pretty fantastic that he lived up to the wager and he put it down like a champ.
You got to respect a man who honors his bets.
Absolutely. All right, looks like we're going to go 4 ways to a flop here after AJ finishes off this round of betting with his call, and he does. So 4 ways to a flop. Couple of aces represented, couple of queens, and big Donkey Birdman on a couple of 7s looking for a set, and there it is.
unfortunately for him, doesn't look like anyone has any major piece.
Yeah, and the 3 of spades on the turn did not change that fact at all. So he is going to go ahead and put out a little probe here, and I think that's going to be all she wrote. Jeffrey on the button does have ace high, which can be good sometimes. His opponent could have something like 4-5, 5-6 that decided to start betting.
Diamonds, 8-10.
Well, and that's bad news for Jeffrey, is he's going to pick up top pair. Yeah, and Big Donkey Birdman. I think he should go for a big polarizing bet here, make it look like he missed diamonds. I'd like to see something like 375 here.
Looks like he's reaching.
Oh,
It looks like an overbet.
Yeah, he's going to overbet this. This I like too. I think I might have gone a little bit down, just because not too many people do it, the overbets. But as it stands, I think Jeffrey's going to look him up here. I mean, this is just an awkward spot, but like, did you really float ace queen on the turn to make top pair and then just like fold it? I don't know. Stephen Tixay here in the chat dropping us a $4.99 super chat. What a luck box. Yeah, well. And Mike Youngblood says, I assume 1 means good, 10 is bad. So he thinks the 1.8 is pretty good. You should do it, Mikey. Oh, my goodness. All right, so Steven dropping some shade at our boy Bryson. Good to see you here, Steven. Thanks for coming along.
What did Steven say?
He called Bryson a luck box. Oh, is Jeffrey going to let this go?
Wow.
Yeah, see, I think that sizing's just a little too big. There's no card that you could connect with a queen to make a straight draw or something.
Right.
It was 9-7-3 deuce.
Yeah, there was no straights that came
So,
in
yeah, it would have to just be a total airball whiff that was like, oh, now I got a queen and I can go for massive value.
Right.
And I don't know too many players that are going to do that. So, yeah. I don't know. That one played out very interestingly, and I like Bryson's idea of going polar. However, I mean,
maybe a little bit on the greedy end, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's one data point right there that says, like, if you can't get ace queen to call that size, then that size isn't right. But as it stands, I definitely admire what he was going for there. I think he had the right idea.
Action flop here. Bomber flopping open-ended. Hobart flopping a double gutter with 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw. Anderson flopping middle pair with top kicker. Looks like everybody's sticking around for a turn card. And it is a blank 3 of diamonds.
I like this from Kamikaze Crunch. Chicken broth and tequila, question mark? Are you freaking serious? I'm getting the dry heaves just thinking of that. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, God, how did we even come up with that?
I think mainly just because there's a chicken broth machine here at TCH Austin.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. No, but I like the original concept. Like, I'm sure it was Steamdola. Like, he must have said something about it. But or maybe somebody in the chat. But, I mean, just the things that we come up with, right? I mean, as human beings, we're fascinating creatures. George is sticking around here. George is the aggressor. I take it all back. Bets the flop. Calls the flop after someone else bet. Then he takes over the lead, betting the turn. And yeah, texture changing card here. King of diamonds. It's an over card and completes the backdoor diamonds.
It looks
Anderson.
like a 2x over bet.
Woo!
Snaps him off.
Snaps him off.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my boy Anderson right there. He says, George, no.
It's like a full pot size.
Sundays, $100 on Saturdays. Top 10% of the players will make their way into the finals each month.
We got some big hands colliding here.
That we do.
This is going to be interesting to see how Sergio reacts to Williams' cold 4-bet from the cutoff with aces.
Yeah, he is out of position. But we've seen some creative play and some strong play from Sergio. And Will the Nit here putting in the cold 4-bet. Yeah, I think this is a spot to put in the flat call go for perhaps a check call, check raise line on the turn.
And that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, because William, he's not going to cold 4-bet very often, and when he does, that means he's got a made hand, and you don't want to scare him off. I mean, a hand like kings or queens.
And that's a very safe flop for Sergio as well.
Yeah, it really is. It's rainbow texture, and Will probably not going to go ballistic with Jack's pre. Interesting choice. Will snap checks this back, looking to play some pot control here. When he gets called by Sergio, I think he's a little bit worried about the existence of like a pocket jacks type hand. Maybe just wants to keep the pot small. I don't quite understand the snap check back there, but he is just going to go into check call mode. And stacked pot ratio now just about exactly at 1. William, the effective stack, at 1.6K. Sergio here running spades. Does put backdoor spades out there. Let's see. Sergio looks to be going for a bet that is not all in. Looking to get paid by more of Will's range, but I think you could go for the all-in bet here, honestly. But this, I think there's no way that Will folds to this.
No, I mean, he's probably slap calling here. I have to imagine he's going to be calling here with queens played this way. You can't let your opponent go bet on turn river on this kind of board and have folding in an overpair.
Yeah. Yeah, he is going to cut this out.
And I think William recognizes that, and he's just going to make the call and find out the bad news.
Yeah. Yeah, he very clearly seems to be onto something that, like, this doesn't feel great. He is going to call, and he's going to find out the bad news that he ran into a cooler. But he is fortunate to not lose all of his chips. He did preserve $936 there by playing that one slowly. And
find all the lines.
Oh, man, I'm too many broth bombs in. I don't know. All right, Sergio is still stacking his chips as he finds 9-8 of hearts in middle position. Puts in the flat call over size open with ace-queen.
Flat slap. That's a good one.
Will the knit here. Jack 10 of diamonds trying to right the ship. Gets back in the saddle.
Oh, big donkey Birdman with the AK under the gun straddles. This is another straddle spot. You just wake up with ace-king and have 3 people already commit chips to the pot.
Yeah. And with 137 of dead money in there, he's going to make this
chunky.
250, and I like that size.
275, 250?
250. Yeah, and this is a really good sizing because it's going to put a lot of pressure on the initial opener. And if you can get it through them, then you're very likely to pick up the remainder of the pot.
Interesting what Sai decides to do here with the ace-queen offsuit. He could elect to 4-bet bluff here, too, because he blocks a lot of the strong hands Big Donkey Birdman is going to be 3-betting with here. Mm-hmm. He could also take a flop in position with ace-queen off. I think all 3 options here are viable for Sai. Just depends on what he believes is Big Donkey Birdman's 3-bet squeeze range here is from the straddle.
Yeah, yeah, I could see Sai trying to figure out what the best move here is. He is going to rip this all in.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the options too. If he thinks Big Donkey Birdman can be doing this pretty wide.
Yeah, he gets snapped off by Bryson, and they may be talking about running it more than once. I think that is the agreement. Ooh. And wow, Sai flops really well. He hits the queen on the first run out. And looking to hit another one if he can. Otherwise, Big Daddy Birdman, he is going to hit the king.
He's drawing dead.
And that is going to do it. Chop City.
What a luck box, Sai. What a luck box.
Yeah, seriously. And if they'd run it one time, he would have scooped the whole damn thing, too. You guys for coming along for the ride. We appreciate you very much.
Sai going to put in the 160?
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Sai is the man. Okay, this is the last
hand, and we got the $160 straddle out there.
All right, so even our biggest stack at the table of like 4K is actually sitting on something in the ballpark of like 25, 30 lines. I mean, this is fantastic stuff right here. All right, Little Slick going into the muck. Will the nit, Jack 7 off. Can't imagine that's worth anything to him. Jeffrey's got an ace, but it comes with a 6. And he's got 1.5K.
He's got 10 bigs.
He's got 10 bigs. I mean, you could just rip it and be like, hold on to your seats. Daryl,
Oh, and he just limps. No way. No.
He's got like 8 bigs.
Oh, and Birdman has the jiggy. He's just going to get in, though.
It is.
All in.
Yeah, Judy's and the Birdman.
Probably a slap call from Daryl.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a race to finish off tonight. So flipping for stacks. That's what you like to see.
Cy, he's got the Happy Meal. He's going to let it go. And, yeah, Daryl, ace, king, buddy. Put your money in.
Yeah.
There it is. All right. Can Daryl get a little bit of run good here at the end of the broadcast? He's had a rough go of it tonight.
You got to run this one once, too, if you're Daryl, right? Flip the hat around and run it once.
Yeah. Just, no, I'd take a broth bomb shot out of it and then just, I don't know. Okay, queen high board. That's not good for the ace king. Still looking for something, and that ain't going to do it. Couple of Judys are going to hold.
Man, poor Daryl.
And Daryl is going to get felted on the final hand of the evening. So rough go of it for that man. But we enjoyed having him on the broadcast. I think he did good work. He played strong, and he just couldn't quite find the right side of things. So that's going to do it for us here. Aaron Ron McAvoy here, headed up to Dallas for the TCH tournament tomorrow and Saturday. Hope to see you guys out there. That's going to do it for me and Gordon. So signing off here for the TCH Live crew and super producer Carolyn. Thanks for coming along. We'll see you all next time.